It's finally time for the car everyone's been waiting on the channel. It's time for the Nissan Pulsar GTIR to finally get the attention it deserves.
I've owned this car for around 8 years now. We've been through some ups and some downs. I've been scammed, I've had it on the road, then back off the road. It's tried to kill me, and it's basically sat in the background watching every other car I own get attention. But that's all about to change.
I'm a little bit excited about this. It's finally time that the Pulsar gets the attention it deserves. We're going to get it back on the road and start some road trips. We've got some things teamed up for the Pulsar that we want to do, so it's time finally to bring it out. We've got a few cars to move to get it out of its current position, and a few pieces to attach back onto it as well to get it up and running and movable. What we're going to do today in this episode is we're going to put it on the ramp, give you guys a more in-depth of the car's current condition and show you what the first job that we need to tackle on the car to get it back on the road.
First job we have to do is reattach the dump valve, which I robbed off temporarily to fit on the Subaru. Reattaching this just ensures that we're not losing any boost pressure while we've got the car running. Also need to top up the coolant level just to make sure we have enough in the system. And lastly, we need to inflate that flat tyre in order for the car to move.
Typical Scottish, blowing a gale, the rain's on. We've cleared a path here for the Pulsar to leave, and it's just 1 minute roll down. We're going to just hitch it up and take it down to the workshop, but we need to hope that it's going to start. We've kind of bolted the bits back on, it should get us there, but fingers crossed, it's not started for a few months. It's going to be some manoeuvre to get it out of here and all. Never doubted it. Never doubted it. Right, come on. This is the hardest bit, trying to get it, motivation-wise, trying to get the car down to the workshop so that it's dry. And we've got time in here, we can work in the dark and stuff, because sitting here, I'm just no motivation to work on the car. To me, any car that's sitting here at the moment because of Scottish weather, so let's get it down to the workshop and start working on it down there. Right, the car's finally back down in the workshop. First things first, I'm going to give you guys a slightly better introduction to the Pulsar than the very first Pulsar video that I put up. The last time the car was down here in this workshop, the workshop was completely different. The Pulsar was packed over there was nothing in here. But it is a dedicated space now to work on the cars, customers' cars as well as my own cars. I've got a gap that I've created to specifically work on this car. So I want to give you a slightly better introduction onto the Pulsar than the last time. Now, what we're going to do is, I've never had the Pulsar on the ramp. It's any time I've ever worked on it because it's been with me for 8 years, way before I had all this equipment. So we can get a better look into the car and show you guys better underneath and stuff into the car. So we're going to get a better description. This area here, paintwork required. I'm just going to dive right in here, guys. I punched that. I might have explained that in the last episode. The car got stuck in the ice down a slope at the back garden. The back garden was completely different. I took a huff and I punched it. So that's going to need fixed. You can see that the paintwork isn't the best on it. It used to be yellow. Paint job was done before I picked it up. Some of it started to crack back through. I don't think they prepped it properly. Coming around the back, It's completely weathered and is going to need a big clean. We're going to need to get new plates because those look horrendous now. I want that exhaust off. It's too big and too loud. I'm 34. Less attention I get, the better. I do have a load of parts in here for the Pulsar. That is a spare back axle, and I have made a mistake with the back axle, which I'll show you. There's an exhaust in there as well, standard exhaust, which I think is just going to suit my fat driving style better. I'm not young anymore, so I don't want to have a loud car. It's got the wiper delete there, so we've no back wiper. If we come round this side, I think sometimes that cap is tricky to open with the mechanism, so we're going to have to look at that. The back brakes, I've gave them a little clean just on the way in there. They were all new and I've only done about 100 kilometres or so. You can see the wheel studs there are terrible. The wheels are absolutely terrible as well, so the plan is to change them off. One of the valves is actually cut in half, and I'll show you that if we get into it. Toyo sticker can come off because it's crap. That's not open, it's not unlocked. Come round the front. I mean, it's just in dire need of attention and cleaning and brought back up to life, which we have all the equipment and capabilities of doing, so we're going to show you guys that. Again, front calipers. So the back calipers are the ones I stole that I had built for the Mini, but they're actually Pulsar calipers, so they get put on this, and then the old ones off this, which were seized, I need rebuilt, but I don't know what condition they're in anymore, so we're maybe going to have to look at all the calipers. They're going to need painted at the very least. I was thinking about upgrading because the channel is getting slightly better. I think the videos are getting slightly better, and we've got slightly decent cars to work on. I think it's time we actually modify them slightly and put some slightly better parts on them. So we're either going to have to completely strip all these and redo them, or we're going to maybe try and get a K-Sport or a Wildwood kit. Someone was selling one on eBay and on the GTIR club. If they can do me a price, give me a message. Might upgrade the front ones and the front discs. We're getting these wheels off. An engine bay here, it's just needing a tidy up. I thought the holes were cut to put a front mount on, but I don't think they are. I think this is actually original, which makes me not want to cut the holes to put a front mount on. So I'm kind of in two minds with that, but it apparently does run a lot better with the front mount instead of having the intercooler on top. Battery needs to stay put in. This AirPod filter is just sitting in. I have a new housing made up, I'm sure, to pod the air filter, because I got one made up for the Super Turbo at the same time. We've got loads of problems in here. Vacuum problems. These are all going to need double check. It's just spaghetti junction in here. They're all just like botched together. I have loads of vacuum, so we're going to have to reroute all the vacuum. I don't actually know. I mean, look at that. That's like a bit with an adapter and then another bit, and then there's another adapter there. It's just kind of botched, jobbed up. I'm sure if I look in here, there isn't even a full set of rocker cover nuts on there, so there's one missing for there at least. And I think some things might be snapped in there which are going to need attention. The water bottle sits loose there. The washer fluid doesn't have a cap or anything on it. Full engine bay is needing freshened up and cleaned. We have wiring in here, which I'm ashamed to say that was actually me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was running the wrong math sensor, which is needing a clip as well, because that's rubbish. The math sensor was wrong, and I spliced in just to try and get some readings with the voltmeter. And then we discovered that it was actually running the wrong math for the car, so it was dumping in way too much fuel. That's actually the wrong dump valve that I lifted out of the house. It should have an HKS one on it. That's the one that came with it, but I'm taking it out, putting the HKS one back on. There is some dress-up bits that we want to do as well, just to make the engine bay look a lot better, a lot cleaner. It's got the big alloy radiator, which isn't standard. I fitted that, but now I think it protrudes and fouls with the slam panel here, which messes up the bonnet opening and closing, so that's going to need attention as well. We are running some better suspension, which will show you apparently a really rare Japanese suspension on the car, which I bought from the guy that actually scammed me, but that's another story. I bought them off the guy after he scammed me, but I still wanted the suspension, so I had to buy them. What we're going to do now is we're going to fire it up in the air. Interior-wise, before we do that, it's needing a clean. Original mats. I'm not sure about the phase of the seats, if they're right, because I had two different cars that were two different phases. Not the umbrella model, but I do have the umbrella and the umbrella holder, which I'll show you in a different video. We have got some, I'll take this, Michelle. We've got some trims missing, so that's there, but it's going to need repaired and fixed. That doesn't open, so we're going to need to give it attention. We have no radio. Gear knob is tatty, so we're going to have to fix it. The ECU is lying on the floor. Can't remember why I done that, but it's off. Now the steering wheel is a bit dated, but the originals are very expensive, so might not be able to get one. I think that's actually a cover for the car in there, which I showed before. That's something I'm going to speak about in 1 minute. Let's see if we can get in the boot. Yep, it works. So we robbed gas struts off another Pulsar that I had because I had the white one at the same time, as well as the parcel shelf. And that's some interior carpet and stuff that's to go in. There's a hammer and chisel there, Michelle. I was messing about in here with the fuel pump before. That's how long it's been since I've recorded on this car. So there's some work to do in there. The shell was solid the last time I looked, which is at least, I don't know how long ago, to be honest, I'd just be guessing. So I'm praying that this is still as good a car as it was when I bought it. It's never seen salt roads. It's never seen much roads. I think since I bought the car, I reset the trip and I've done 200 kilometres in 8 years. And it's been MOT'd once. We'll be able to look at the MOT and see how much the mileage is since the last time it was driven as well. Fast talking here, I want to just show you guys. We're going to get it up, we're going to show you the condition, show you what the next episode is going to detail. I just want to get this up and show you guys and then get into more depth. Don't want to bore you with too much. And then the plan is to quickly get it MOT worthy. Get an MOT on it, and then we've got a special road trip planned with this. And it's going to team up with the Subaru. The issue is though that this is the most unreliable car in the world. So because we want to take it to an island, yeah, we want to take this to an island. I've only done 200 kilometres in 8 years, and it's the most unreliable car in the world, and we want to take it to an island. So I need to try and make sure that it's not going to break down on me. So we'll get it up just now and show you what's next. Right, so I'm going to grab the camera off my shelf and I'm going to show you some suspension, roundabout kind of thing, just for 2 minutes, and then I'll explain what the problem is with this car all these years and how lazy I've been in fixing it, and show you what parts we've got to fix it. So we'll show you a quick walk around just now with the suspension. So, as I said earlier, upgraded suspension. It's RSR TI 2000. Can't remember too much about them. But they're on in the front there, and a splash guard is missing, so we're going to need a new one. Plus, this is what I'm talking about. We need to tidy everything up. That's for the washer jet system. That looks like a white one, so I must have robbed it off another car, my other white Pulsar. You have seen the side, the back, no bubbling on the arches. These are arch protectors, quite rare to find now. A lot of people are missing them. Again, we've got the full set of TI 2000 suspension from Japan. Back condition, you can see it's all been kind of under sealed previously and it's still good nick. No rust around the arches. Under the back here, exhaust needs to go. Too big and loud. And it's chapping on there and on the bumper because it's not mounted properly. I did actually ask for a small exhaust to be put on it when the fella that had it that scammed me had the car, and then he put this on. I do have a standard one over there, so we're going to hopefully mount it in this section, and it should reduce some of the noise. Handbrake cable, I'm sure it seizes on this side. Can't remember on that side. It probably does the same now because it's been so long. You can see I've painted all the tie rods and stuff blue with Hammerite to try and tie in with the front engine, which I'll show you down there because it's blue as well. I think that's pretty much it. I really want this cradle back off. I've made a mess of this. I think I've overfilled this back diff because when I had it on the floor, the hole on the side there for filling, which should be filled when it's sitting this angle, I'm sure I had it vertical and just started pouring fluid in. So I'm sure that's overfilled and hopefully I've not damaged it, but I do have a spare one if I did. So we can do that. Prop shaft running right up the middle. Nothing exciting about that, but we're wanting this full cradle back off, and I'll show you guys something that happened with the exhaust and during that episode when the car tried to kill me. Moving round, again, same suspension, same protector, wheel in the bin. No much exciting there. Round the front, same suspension again, disc, everything in the bin. Engine bay, I'll get to. Underneath, so we've still got a front standard uncut bumper. Did think about putting the front mount intercooler on it, but I don't know, we'll address that further down the line. I am missing a tonneau cap, which Gary promised to print me months ago and never bothered his arse. Right, in the front, because this is where the issue is with the car. Turbo there, obviously, you can see that. Coolant pipe there. It's coolant that's the issue with the car. Now, when you take this for a 20 or 30 minute drive, when you park it back up, you can hear splashing where it's hitting against something hot, so it's actually splashing against the exhaust when the exhaust is hot. And there's a coolant leak. So there's a coolant leak, which is the reason why it's been packed up for all these years, since 2020, so for 3 years. And I've had the coolant kit there to redo it all for years now, and I've not bothered. You can see the block is blue along with the gearbox. I'm not sure what I can do about that because, I mean, I doubt I can change it unless I rip it all out. So we're going to have to try and tie everything in a kind of blue and black theme, which isn't ideal. It's not really my style, but we're going to just have to make do with what we have. Under here, gear linkage boot is all broken. I'm going to need to try and find one of them. That looks as if it's sweating. Don't know if it's oil. It looks a bit oily, to be honest. I put a sports cat on it, even though it doesn't need a cat anymore because of the age. We need to tie in a new sway bar for it because that's rubbish. I'm actually sitting on the ramp there on that, so I'm going to need to move the car forward slightly, which I'll do just now before we start work. Tyres scrubbed, but we're getting rid of them anyway. Everything else is pretty much as you would expect. Pretty good condition, but it's got some issues. Right, so the issue with the coolant scenario is that the pipe that we need to repair is right down in the back there, as low as you can imagine. To do that, we need to strip off everything, all the intake manifold, a lot. But while we're in there, we're going to get all the access to all these vacuums and change them at the same time. I did repair this hose that is bust, and it's the most common one of all. But a month later it done the same again, so we're going to replace it now with a full kit, which is in the car. Right, some goodies that we have here. So it is a full coolant kit for the car, ancillary kit, if that's what you call it. I'm dropping hoses off my feet. Let's hope I've not lost any. So every single coolant pipe should be there for the car. Set them up there, and I'll show you. I'm sure it's this one that's the issue. Sits down the back of the block. Does it go that way? And there's something in there that needs to stay in there. There's a spring or something, if I remember correctly. So we're going to have to make sure that we incorporate all these hoses into the correct position. But we literally have every single hose, every single knuckle, bend, everything for the car. So it's going to be a bit of a jigsaw to figure out what ones go where. But that's what we're doing on the car first, because that's the number one issue with the running of this car. We might have some fueling issue and stuff as well. I've spoken in the previous video that it has forged pistons and stuff in it, and the cylinders have been bored slightly. So we might need to address some of that. I would actually prefer it if it was modernised with coil and plug instead of distributor. We might look into that. I would like to do it myself if I could get a kind of bolt-on kit, or find someone close to me that would maybe tie in with me doing it, because we're going to need to run a different ECU if we do that, which is fine as well, but I would like to do that at some point just for reliability, especially with it being bored. I would like to have it running better basically with the fuel that's going in. So that's all the coolant stuff. Something that I've done on the Super Turbo we've replaced all the vacuum lines. So we have got loads and loads of vacuum piping, and we're just going to do the same in this car as I did with the Super Turbo. I'm not leaving anything to chance. We're going to replace every single vacuum while we've got that inlet manifold off. In this box, which is going to be saved for another video, I pushed and pushed and pushed to get these a year ago, and they came and then I never done anything with them. It's a polybush kit for the whole car, so every single one. And I think the real reason I bought the full kit was because I want to take the back cradle off the axle and that, and I want to powder coat it, tidy up all the control arms and stuff, all new nuts and bolts and all new bushes in, because I want to kind of go the extra mile on this car. Can't see me selling it. It's been 8 years in my possession, although I kept saying I hate it. I've never gave it an opportunity, and I've never actually driven it properly and tried to do something with the car. Now that I have the channel and I have you guys and we're doing road trips and stuff, there's scope and potential for me to actually drive this car and figure out whether I do like it or don't like it. So every single bush is in here for the car. Quite an expensive kit, to be honest. I don't know about that one, to be honest, because that's got movement in it. That's no. I don't know, I'm going to have to actually have a look at that and see if any of them are actually no up to the task. But they're all there. So that's going to be a different episode. Originally I was going to start this car and I was going to strip it all down and I was going to do the whole back first. But what's the point when I've got a coolant leak at the front and we can't use the car? I can use the car without polybushing it and stuff, so, and we can do the road trip. I think what we're going to need to do is get it running properly with the coolant and all that kind of stuff, and get the car road legal, even if we have to keep these wheels just now and just put the right tyres on it, stuff like that, so that we can do the road trip, and then we can get, unless I can find a set of wheels that are sitting right now ready to rock. And then as the episodes go on with the Pulsar, we'll then tackle the back and we'll strip it down and we'll rebuild it. We'll strip and rebuild the front control arms and everything, put polybushing and everything in it, and we'll just be going to town. Obviously it needs paintwork and stuff if Danny's willing to do it. If not, we're going to have to find somewhere because that needs attention. But that's it for the first episode, the first modern episode on the Pulsar. It's in the unit, which means we're going to be working on it. It's not in here to sit, it's in here to get worked on. So in the next episode, we will be tackling this coolant issue that we've been having, and we're going to strip it all down. I'm actually going to stay here and do that just now, so the next episode shouldn't be too long. But thanks very much for tuning in. If you like this or you want to follow this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Anyone to get any comments or any tips or anything like that, or any information on the car that will help me along the build, please get in touch in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.